but still this application have various problems. Like we have to handle exceptions here, because if we will try to say employee number 1 and I'll try to enter some employee number with one record and I'll click on save button, what will happen? My application will collapse. Okay, it will give me error, SQL exception error, violation of primary key constraint. So I'll get SQL exception error, violation of primary key. Means what? I am trying to save duplicate data in primary key column. So in this case, if violation of key error is primary key error is there, I should show some easy to understand messages to my end users. Okay, that record already exists. Okay, the another scenario where your application can easily collapse is what? If you will try to find out a record which doesn't exist. If you will put employee number 43 and will click on find button, where is my find button? Okay, and we'll click on find button. So again some problem is it's working for 1. If I will 12 and say find, so invalid attempt to read when no data is present. So number 2 record is not there, so this where clause will return null. idr.read will read null value, and you are trying to read null value, which is not possible. So we have to handle this exception too. So these are the two situations when you will get exceptions. You may have one question in mind. Exception can occur in case of update and delete. If you will try to update which record doesn't exist, and if you will try to delete if a record doesn't exist, then also exception should. Let us try it out. So if you will say 43 name salary, so this is one new record, and actually you should click on save, but you have clicked on update button. 43 number record is not exist, but still you will get message record updated surprisingly. And same thing is true about delete statement. If you will try to delete which record doesn't exist, it will still give you message record deleted. Means it is not throwing any exception. Let us see what that operation affected my database or not. You will find that there is no effect of that particular command on my database. My update command haven't worked over here because record number 43 doesn't exist. So it will check for okay 43 doesn't exist, it will silently try to execute query, and if we will not okay, it will go to next line of code. If you fail to execute this query here, it will just go close the connection and show you message record updated or whatever code there is. Same way, if delete statement will enable to delete it, means if you will not find employee number, then it will just go to next statement, it will close the connection, clear the text boxes and record deleted. So again this you have to handle. Okay, so there are 4 things which we have to handle here. Out of that, 2 are exceptions. Save, in case of save and find, and update and delete we have to manage with this, tackle with that situation in some other way. So let us first handle save and find exceptions. So double click on save button. Here we'll use exception handling and try catch block. We could put this block in try block and in catch means if some problem will be here while executing the query, it will throw exception and control will come to catch block. Here I know that what is the exception type, SQL exception ex. Here I'll show message box dot show. You can show system message. First let us try out this, and okay, this one is, if everything is good, then only you want to show message record inserted, right? So anything wrong in this block, then you will control will thrown to catch block, you will show the system message. Try it out. So if you will try to save existing record, so you'll get violation of primary key constraint pk underscore employee table cannot insert duplicate key in object employee table. The statement has been terminated. So this is not user friendly message, this is system message. It's good for developer, but your end users are not developers, so you should always provide with some user friendly message. Here you can write record exists. Record already exists. So this is how you can do the things. Now again, here we are done very big mistake. If exception will not come, then okay, it will execute the query, it will close the connection, it will give this message. But if there is some exception, your control will thrown to catch block, it will show the message, and okay, it will exit from this method save click event handler, but your connection will remain open because your control haven't executed connection dot close statement. So what you should do, you should always close your connection in finally block when you are using try catch blocks. So So here you see that connection dot close. So finally block will get executed in either cases. If exception will not come, then after completing try block, it will control will come to finally block, will close the connection, and if there will be exception, control will thrown to catch block. After executing catch block, it will execute finally block and will close the connection. So now it's safe code. Okay, fine. Same thing we want to do for find. Means what we'll do here, we'll put this block in try block, and then inside catch block I will have some message, and inside finally block I'll close the connection. Fine. So record not exist. Done. So you handled the exceptions, possible exceptions in save and find button. Same way, there are two situations in update and delete where you should prompt your end user that record has been updated successfully, or there is no effect in database. Okay, so as it is not throwing an exception, we have to handle in different ways. So here you will use one fact that command dot execute non-query function will always execute your query on database, will update or insert or delete records from database, and will always return the numbers of affected records. Again I am repeating, after executing the query on database, execute non-query will always return the number of affected records. Means we can say we can see how many records are affected. So if it will update, this query will update one record, it will return 1. If it will delete one record, it will return 1. If it will update 7 records, it will return 7. If it will not update any record, it will return 0. Okay, so this is how we can identify that whether this query have affected records in database or not, and accordingly we can flash the messages. So here I'll use this value of record, you can say affected records, if affected record greater than 0, then only I'll say record updated. else I'll simply show the message record not found. Fine. So now you can try it out. If there is some new record and instead of clicking on save button, if you click on update button, it will give you a message record not found. Okay, so this is how, or you can give message operation failed, whatever. Fine. Now same thing we have to do in delete. Here I'll say int affected record is equal to, so it will return, if it will delete one record it will return me 1, if it will not delete anything it will return 0. So here I'll use condition if affected record greater than 0, then show the message record deleted, else message dot show operation failed or record not found, whatever. Fine. So now your buttons will work perfect. If we will put 1, so fine. If we will say 34 and it's fine, record not exist. So now your application will not collapse. But still there are possibilities when your application may get collapse. If you will say 43 and you will put this records empty and say update, input string was not in current format. What actually the problem is, we haven't handled any exception in update block, we haven't used try block, catch block, and we are not providing any text here and trying to convert it into integers, this salary, and there is no text here trying to convert it into integer. Or maybe if you will pass salary, if you will specify some salary and then you will click on update, okay, it's operation failed now. What if record updated? Let us check it. Okay, missing. So you want to make sure that until and unless your all text boxes have some values, your button should not work. Means you want to check every text box for its emptiness. Whenever you will find empty text box, you should first flash the message that enter values for all text boxes or enter values for all fields. Okay, and then only you should proceed your code. So to do that, I'm just modifying it here. Okay, so to do that, let us write one function one private function which returns boolean value, means true or false, and name of function is is text box empty, or it may be is text box blank, whatever. So generally the method which you write like this, is text box empty, means when you start with is, its return type is boolean. You are asking to this method, is it empty? So your method will return yes or no, true or false. Okay, that's why the return type will always be boolean. So how you can check if txt emp number dot text dot trim, you have to trim. Sometime only user can enter only spaces, so you should trim it and check it dot it's equal to string dot empty. Okay. Oh, it's property empty, or txt name dot text dot trim string dot empty, or txt salary dot text dot trim is equal to string dot empty, or txt ct dot text dot trim is equal to string dot empty. If any one of the condition is satisfied, means if any one of the text box is empty, then it should return true. Else, means if any of the text box is not empty, then only this condition will be false, then it will return false. So if text box empty will return true, then I will flash message that enter values for all fields. If it will return false, then only I will proceed. So this I want to add in all the buttons. So in save button, I'll first test that if is text box empty. Okay, if it is true, you can say that like this. Then you can give message like message box dot show enter values for all fields and written from this subroutine. So you will come out of the save method, it will not continue, right? Same thing you will do for all buttons. Here you will write if each text box empty, then show the message enter values for all fields and then return. Right? Okay, here message will be fetch existing record. If you want to delete record, then first fetch existing record. Okay, and then only you should able to delete that particular your all text boxes are not your sum of text box is empty, means you haven't fetched record from database, as you haven't allowed null values in database. So there should be values in all text boxes. When you are deleting it, then only it proves that it is the valid record from database. Okay, and in update method also you should okay find method should only check whether you have entered some text box in some value in employee number or not. If txt employee number dot text dot trim is equal to string dot empty, then you will say that message box dot show enter employee number to search, and return. So this way you added various validations in your application. Still your application may not be perfect, but now it's very strong. Still it have some problems. It may get crash in some cases, but not so frequently. Okay, we have done various things. We have check it for validations that user should not able to submit blank values to database. Then we have also added exception handlings. We have also tried to prompt user with the proper messages. The last thing that I would like to add in this application is what I would like to generate employee number automatically. Means your database have 1 3 and then the next employee number should be 4. Okay, when I will click on new button, it should clear all the text boxes and then it should display employee number 4 on employee number text box. So how can we do that? See, if you will count this records 1 and 2, the next is 3. So 3 is already exist here, so it will not work. That approach will not work, because we can we can remove some records from table, so this count mechanism will not work. But what we will do, we will search out for maximum employee number for greatest employee number in our table, and then we will increment it to 1. Then we will increment it by 1. So how to do it? So let us write one function. Right, cleared text boxes is one function which new button will call. Same way here I am inserting one new function, private you can say it white, or if it will return int generate employee number auto employee number, whatever you want to name it. It will read maximum employee number from database and will increment it by 1. So int first write query string query is equal to select query select max employee number from employee table. So this max function is again built-in function available in structured query language. It will just go through employee number column and return me maximum value from that column. Okay, then build a command object. Now I want to execute this query. Again, one interesting thing here is to execute query which return me single value. I have one special function in my command object, that is execute scalar. See, this is a select query. In find button we have used select query, and this we have executed using execute reader. Same way we can do here also. We can execute this query using execute reader, as it is select query. But we know that our query will return single value from database, that is greatest employee number. So to simplify the things, to execute such queries which returns only single value from database, we have execute scalar function in our command class. So that we are going to use here. So int emp number is equal to, I have to typecast it into integer, what command dot execute scalar will return me. So what execute scalar will do, will execute this query. Instead of execute reader, I am using execute scalar, which will return maximum employee numbers, in this case 3, which I am converting into integer, and will, so now employee number holds 3. I'll simply increment it by 1 and will return this same. Okay, so generate employee number is returning me one new employee number, next employee number, which we want to use on text box. So here in on button new, I can say txt employee number dot text is equal to, I'll simply call generate employee number, and I have to convert it that number in string. So generate employee number, I am calling this function, it will return employee number, that number I am converting into string and assigning it to text box. And then I would like to focus name, right? So let us try out it now. So, new, some problem is there. Okay, I haven't opened the connection, so open the connection and then close the connection. Only this database interaction is inside open and close block. New, and you'll get 4 here. Your focus will come to name automatically, and then you will add some new record. Record inserted. Again click on new, find file. Fine. So this way you now need not to worry about employee number, it will keep auto incrementing. But the problem with generate employee number is this: if when you will try to execute it first time, means if your table doesn't have any record, so it's an empty table, and now let us try to execute it. Say new, 1 is expected, but your program will crash. Why? Because here on new your call generate employee number, you are trying to select maximum employee number, which will be null. Okay, so you open the connection and command.execute scalar will obviously return null, as it doesn't have any employee number, and you are trying to convert this null into integer. So there will be error, specified cast is not valid. Obviously null can't be converted into integer. So you know that now you know that where when the exception will occur, when you are trying to generate your first employee number, there will be cast exception, right? Again I am showing you new invalid cast exception. Okay, so let us handle it and do the things. Okay, try block, this is what normal behavior, and if there is invalid cast exception, I know that why this exception is occurring. It will occur only in case of first record, so I'll simply return 1. Okay, as in case of first record, it will try to do this operation will fail. control will go to catch and it will return 1, and this 1 I will go and show on the text box. That's it. And you should close this connection always in finally block. Okay, now again the problem here is if we will return employee number from here only, then we are returning from here and here. So instead of that, what we will do, what is the problem? Return employee number was, I'll just increment employee number by 1 here, and instead of doing like this, I'll say okay, I have to declare this outside try block so that it will be available in all try and catch block. Okay, I am incrementing it by 1. If we are successfully able to read maximum employee number, then we will just increment it by 1, else I will say that employee number is 1 and I will return fine. So perfect. Now let us try to execute it. Say new and 1, put some name, salary, city, save it, record in state, again say new 2, and now it's working properly. Fine. So I think we are done with all the required things. Let us go through this checklist. Okay, we are done with save, find, update, delete, exit buttons. We have generated the ID, employee number automatically. We have done validations for text boxes. We have handled all possible exceptions. Our application is showing appropriate message to end user. We have just left with a demo with parameterized query that we will do in next session. Okay, so thank you for listening me patiently, and I believe that this video will help you to build your first database application.